Welcome to Audible Interlude, a G.I. Joe podcast. I'm your host, Dave West, codename Phantom Troublemaker.
And I am your co-host, Noel Wood, codename Crapshoot.
I'm Ryan, the Cobra office temp, who doesn't get a codename because I'm only here for the day.
Very well done. So everybody will notice that Kristian is not currently with us. He is just off. Had a little scheduling conflict, but we might see him pop into the chat or in and out as his availability changes over the night. But we do have Needless Things head of research Ryan here to help us out, who, despite, you grew up with Joe just like we did, but it didn't become the same, obsession that it is with me and Noel and Kristian. But because you're who you are, you stay on top of all the news regardless.
Yeah, an obsessive tracking of toys that I will never own.
So you're going to help us out with some of the news. And then also, since we are just a few days away from Halloween, we've got some spooky plans. We're going to be talking about some toys that are available right now or available for pre-order right now that maybe could complement your Joe collections, but provide something a little more frightening to go along with them. And if we're a little weird tonight, it's because we are currently simulcasting in landscape and in portrait mode. There are a number of reasons to be doing this. It's a new feature that StreamYard offers. So if you find yourself looking at us in a vertical presentation and you're like, what is this? Why is this like this? There is a separate video on the Needless Things YouTube channel that is the old landscape that you're used to. So just be aware, you can have your choice. So if you'd rather watch us vertically, then you can. And right now, the three of us are looking at two separate displays because I do need to monitor. I need to monitor this vertical just to see what it looks like and see what's going on with it. So that's why if every once in a while maybe I'm a little distracted or something gets a little wonky, like just now when our intro video played and we were getting audio from both in our headsets, it threw me off a little bit. But anyway, the Needless Things YouTube channel is what you're watching right now. If you are with us live, we are tons of reviews. I've got the biggest stack of stuff backed up I've ever had right now because so much stuff is hitting October. Operation Monster Force, I'm making my way through the newest releases of those. I will finish up the last 3 that I have next week. 2 go up this week. Also, the Snake, the MMS. I've got Budo. I've got Slice and Dice, Slaughter and Mercer that I realized haven't even gone up yet. So many reviews backed up and new stuff still coming in, like Playmates Retro Footmobile, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Footmobile, stuff like that as well. So basically lots and lots and lots of toy reviews. I potentially could be filled up through Thanksgiving just with what I've got to review right now. As a matter of fact, I've got something that was supposed to be a review for the Halloween season that I might just have to go live this weekend and do because I haven't had the opportunity to do it yet, and it's been sitting here for 2 weeks. So, Needless Things YouTube channel, like, subscribe, share, follow us wherever you listen to podcasts. The audio version of this episode will be available this Friday, wherever you get your podcasts. Click the follow button, subscribe, leave a 5-star review, do whatever you got to do. And we are looking at some other podcasting options at the moment. I don't believe anything we do will affect how you're able to listen to the show, but I'll have an announcement probably next time we're live about what's changing or not with the audio versions of the episode. The biggest change would potentially be that the audio versions will be available here on the channel, which you may have noticed is something that I've been kind of trying to work on the last few weeks, and it hasn't worked right yet. So I'm going to try and get that figured out too. Next week on our audio episode, our review of the Pyramid of Darkness concludes.
We did them all in order.
We did them all
sort
in order.
of.
We're going to get through all. Well, we did. We're going to get through all 5 parts.
In kayfabe, we did.
Yeah, right. And then the next audio review or audio episode after that, Noel's going to be on vacation, and we're going to do an Oops All Segments episode. And then the audio episode. After that, we have a very, very special review planned that Noel and Kristian don't even know about yet, but it hit me the other day. It's something that we have to talk about. So lots of cool stuff coming on the show. We have merchandise available if you follow Audible Interlude Podcast on Instagram. Oh, so that's what that looks like in portrait mode. If you follow Audible Interlude Podcast on Instagram, and you should, click the pinned stories to go to our TeePublic store. You can get shirts and all kinds of other items with our logos on them. It's really more about representing the show because we get like $1 from every sale, so it's not doing a whole lot for hosting. But please do check out Audible Interlude Podcast on Instagram. More on that later. In our next regular live stream, and I promise you I changed this like 5 times in the notes. I don't know what's going on here. November the 10th will be our next live stream here on the Needless Things YouTube channel. We also have a Facebook group, the Audible Army Facebook group, where we talk about Joe. We post links to pre-orders, information, news, whatever else, kind of exchange ideas about G.I. Joe. And if you are live in the chat right now, I am going to put the link to join the group in the chat. So if you're not already in, you can click that link and join right now. But the best way outside of that to join is send us a message, Audible Interlude Podcast on Instagram, with your email, and we'll add you to the group. So check that out. Oh, it's going to double up on the chat as well because we've got 2 different feeds going. So that's going to be a lot of fun. So another thing in that Audible Army group, Facebook group, we have an Audible Interlude Wiki, which is an ever-evolving and growing record of everything we've ever done on the show. It's amazingly put together by Scale Model Joe's, who was on our 200th episode just a few weeks ago. And it's become a great resource for me of figuring out what we've done, how we've talked about it. And also it's a good resource of like classified releases because we go all the way back to the beginning of the line. We've been doing this for 5 years now. So you can see when things were announced, how they were talked about, whatever. So great resource and open to anybody in the Audible Army Facebook group to edit, to add to do whatever. This is something, speaking of things that have been in the works for a few weeks now, from audio issues to other production problems, this is finally ready to go. And if you're listening to our episode, what this is our Special Mission Brazil Redux live table read with Michael Charles Hill. That is finally going to go up this week. I'm going to double up. I don't care because I've got a huge interview on Wednesday that's going to go up Wednesday night. Might go up as soon as I'm done with the interview. But I'm going to go ahead and put this up this week as well. It might be Friday, but there's video and audio of it. And if you're in the Audible Army Facebook group, you're going to get a special audio bonus that is only available there because we can't be infringing copyright all over the place. So check that out. Got any follow-up? Has anything come in, you guys? Any new figures? Anything you want to throw out there real quick before we get to the news?
Save mine for later.
Okay, that's fair. Then we will plod directly into the news because we've got more of it than we expected. Because we knew MCM was happening, but none of us, look, I'm sure lots of people knew exactly when it was, but there's a lot going on in the world. There's a lot going on in our lives. And while we enjoy discussing news announcements, current events about G.I. Joe, I'm going to be honest and say I can't keep track of it all. All right. So first news that I like, Toy Collector's Wish Book Volume 2 is back. It was sold out for a little while, but you can go to the website right now and order a copy, hardcover or softcover. This book is a must-have. I actually meant to have it sitting on the desk, but I've got several other things on the desk that I need for the show. But these are awesome. There is a G.I. Joe specific edition coming out in the coming months. These are just go to the website and flip through they've got GIFs of the different pages that you can flip through. It's awesome. It's an amazing resource and just a fun visual treat.
Yeah, it's such a great, great layout. There's just something about that, having that hardcover edition and just being able to flip through it in these beautiful glossy pages. Like I have mine of my office, and I will pick them up every now and then and just kind of comb through and just look. And it feels like going back and like looking at the wish book when you were a kid.
Yeah.
Volume 2's been really nice to have because it's got the mask section in it, especially with the new announcements of Wave 2 and going back and kind of looking at the original stuff.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing is it's not just an encyclopedia, and it's not just a book of toy photography. Like it's both. It's a invaluable resource. Rec Ship, of course, one of our biggest and best sources of information. Often, Rec Ship has sent me a message before the news is even announced. So Rec Ship says, lucky for you, Dave, some of us in the AA, let's go ahead and say Audible Army. I don't need to hear about your personal life, Rec Ship. Some of us in the Audible Army don't have a life and can keep track of it for you, and I appreciate it. Every single time Rec Ship reaches out, it's 85% of the time when Rec Ship reaches out, it's valuable. He is reinstated. All right, we got to talk about this. Energon Universe cartoon. So there was some. Not everybody was clear on what this announcement actually was or what it meant. Guys, what was your understanding of this? And I've got the announcement here.
I mean, I kind of took it with a grain of salt when I first heard it, just because we've heard about so many of these different media projects related to G.I. Joe and related things over the last few years. But yeah, I don't know. I'm still not quite sure what the whole thing's going to be.
Well, the problem was the original announcement kind of got buried as things move their way through the different media outlets. First of all, you have to have those 5 paragraphs of worthless word babble to get
SEO.
Like before you, what is that again?
Search engine optimization.
Yeah.
So the reason why you can't like find a recipe online without like scrolling 20 pages to find the actual ingredients.
It's got the VAT in the front. Like my grandma used to tell me stories about Transformers when I was a young child. Like,
and that's the problem is you have to go like 5 paragraphs deep into any article before you get to actual information, and there's no telling what kind of like preposterous fluff these news sites are going to fill those 5 paragraphs with, whether it's, AI slop or whatever. So it a lot gets lost in the utter BS landscape. But the bottom line, as I read it, and I recommend everybody check out Deadline. To me, the Deadline article was the one that was the most, here are the facts of this thing. So Robert Kirkman's Skybound Entertainment has teamed with Hasbro Entertainment to produce Energon Universe, an adult animated series based on the comics of the same name, created by Kirkman and published by Skybound. Joe Henderson is attached to write the adaptation and serve as showrunner on the series, an epic crossover of G.I. Joe, Transformers, and Void Rivals mythology, which is expected to be taken out to buyers shortly. And really, that paragraph tells you everything you need to know. Yes, they are producing this cartoon. However, it has not been picked up. Now, due to the success of Walking Dead and Invincible and, basically everything Robert Kirkman has had his hands in the media world, it's going to get picked up. But it's not it's not just a this is happening thing yet. They are producing it, but we don't know what the format is going to be. We don't know if it'll be streaming. We don't know. I mean, it will be, but we don't know that. So we don't know. We don't know exactly what it's going to be. But the good news is because of Kirkman's success, because of, Noel, when we were talking about it in the chat, as you pointed out, the lifelong reliability of the Transformers franchise, this will be in front of our eyes at some point, for sure. My only concern about it is I don't want the success of Invincible and The Walking Dead, for that matter, to be reflected. Like, we've seen some pretty gory, wild stuff in the Energon universe, but I don't want that to be the point of it.
Mm-hmm.
In the way, I don't want, we got to shock them every minute to be the point of it, like some of these other projects have been. We've as we've been reviewing all the Energon Universe Joe comics, we have made mention of just how gory some of the scenes have been, but it's in service of the story, and it's rarely about the shock factor. And I don't want that to change.
I think for a little while, Skybound might have had a first deal look with Amazon as part of that Invincible deal with Kirkman. Like, I think that all kind of happened together. So I could see Amazon trying to get a hold of it, especially with the success of Invincible.
That's my expectation, for sure. So anyway, that's really all the news we have, and we get to speculate on what the tone and everything else will be, even quite frankly, even the animation style.
Yeah, that was one thing I was curious about, because I mean, there's a little bit of synergy between the three books, but there's also, like, just between the different G.I. Joe books, there has been a lot of difference in the way the art's been presented. So I'm curious as to what that will eventually look like.
Well, and they're not going to have the luxury of actually having, well, presumably, they're not going to have the luxury of actually having several different series to tell these stories. So how do they present it as one cohesive story within a single series? Or will they have a central series and then some mini series, kind of like The Boys has Gen V? So it'll be very interesting to follow along.
Or will we just get like arcs to where, you get characters that will appear in a few episodes and then we don't see them for a while because they're part of a whole other, basically the way they did Clone Wars.
Right. Oh, that's a really good model. That's an interesting point. But
I wonder if that would also keep everybody's attention if you are not, say, a Void Rivals fan and you're watching this because you love Transformers and or G.I. Joe.
Well, and that leads me to wonder if maybe the animated version might mix things up a little more than the comics have, because in general, Joe is a Joe comic that now has had a couple of Transformers in it. Void Rivals is a space opera that has had a couple of Transformers in it, although a lot more than it did. And then Transformers, I'm not caught up on, but it has been very Transformer heavy, with a couple of other characters here and there. I guess we can go ahead and say Miles Mayhem now in the Transformers comic, which is awesome. And we met Matt Tracker as well, although that was in G.I. Joe. So, I mean, oh no, Reverend Scott Stripling has a point. On-screen rock and roll. No. Too soon.
That'll also be interesting, too. Are they going to actually tie this into the continuity of the comic, or is this something entirely separate?
I mean, I don't think it would be tied in. So, well, and that's Brett White kind of asked the same thing. Are they going to strictly adapt what we've been reading, or is this going to be a new Energon Universe continuity that goes in different directions? I don't expect it to be a part of the comic continuity. I would expect it to represent concepts from the comics.
And it may be kind of like Star Wars did with Tales of the Empire and Tales of the Jedi, which we had seen in the books and some comics, but they adapted and changed.
Well, yeah, and what if it's just a series of miniseries like that? What if there isn't? What if the concept is Energon Universe, and then it's a series of miniseries? But then that goes back to what Noel said about holding people's attention. If you get, 6 episodes of G.I. Joe, and then you have to wait 2 years for 6 episodes of Transformers, that's not going to work. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. All right. Next up, as we mentioned before, MCM London, the comic convention that has become notable over the past couple of years because Hasbro is actually going over there. I guess Lenny just likes visiting London. So we've got some reveals that happened there. Unfortunately, since Kristian will watch a feed no matter what, so he actually watched the panel. I cannot watch those potato phone feeds where it looks like they're sitting in the panel, like holding their phone like this the whole time. I can't do it. So I didn't watch the actual panel. So we're probably missing a little bit of information, but we can still talk about the reveals and how they happen. So first up, and these first three render reveals are retro card back, which was interesting because when we first heard them, I think that was speculated, but we didn't know for sure. Hoffman says the panel was worth watching. But is there a feed that's worth watching?
Mm-hmm. Is it anybody not like to the extreme left on an angle?
Right, or under the screen.
Mm-hmm.
So we have the female Crimson Guard figure that we knew was coming. And, looks cool. Oh, wait, the backpack is not in this image.
No, it's not. It wasn't.
But we do know it's in this one.
Mm-hmm.
So unless that's a new backpack, and I doubt it is, if this female figure is as diminutive as other classified female figures, that backpack is going to be gigantic on this figure, as is the sword and the scabbard and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
My concern with this one, which I think it's really cool, I do think it's odd that it doesn't have the alternate portrait of the character that everybody's been asking for I don't know how long. Is this red going to match the other retro card back Crimson Guard, or is it going to match the other Crimson Guard stuff in our collections?
Looks like it matches the other retro card back from what I can tell. But then again, what I'm seeing on my screen may not be accurate.
Until somebody says something about it.
But because it has the silver face, and that's why I presume it's going to just be.
And if that's the case, then this is a complete pass for me because I want, I've got this whole Crimson Army back here that matches, and I don't need, I didn't buy one of the retro Crimson Guards because I don't need that weird standout. In the same way, I don't need the retro Cobra Trooper that doesn't match.
You got to think they'll regular release with the alternate head, right?
I guess this just seems like such a. Well, yeah, they definitely will because this is a lot of new tooling, and there's no way this is the only use it's going to get. We'll probably get a regular Crimson. We'll get a Twilight version. We'll get they'll maybe a Python Patrol at some point. They will get their mileage out of this tooling, but it looks great. I mean, it's a cool looking figure, and I like that they're expanding the troops in that way. Yeah, Brett White, thank you. Whoop. Comments coming in too fast. Brett White, yes, Cadet Deming.
I hope that. Well, I hope they do redo it in that blue color to do actually a Cadet Deming with that alternate head.
Oh yeah, that would be cool. So yeah, it's a pass, but cool. It's almost like a pre-paint, like they've done in the past. Like when they would do the Tiger Force or Python Patrol versions of a character before they did the regular version. It's almost that kind of thing, it seems like. Crazy Legs with a crazy face.
Yeah.
What do you think of his crazy face, Noel?
I don't care for it.
It's too much for you?
I don't like. I'm not big on alternate heads generally, but if you're going to put something like that on, give me a face that I can just put posing where he's not doing this I'm constipated thing.
He's very angry.
Noel, I do believe that is the opposite of constipation right there. that is an eruption face.
That's after you've jumped out of the plane and released.
I don't mind expressive portraits, but as you said, I really need something neutral as well, especially if it's this extreme. It would be one thing if
you've already tooled the original head,
right? Include it. But I don't know have they done head swaps on any of the retro figures? Well, I guess they sort of did with CoverGirl, but it was a partial swap. Yeah. And my issue is that I want because if you remember, the paint job on the Dragonfly figures was not great. So I was hoping for a redo, and we've got this. So we still don't have a good neutral Crazy Legs portrait.
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, I dig it. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
He's he's not one of my favorite figures but he also is in the range of the figures I'm collecting, so I may wind up just having to pick him up just because.
Yeah, is Crazy Legs, I'm asking the chat right now, is Crazy Legs anybody's favorite? We need to know.
There's somebody out there.
There's somebody out
there. They're crazy for Crazy Legs.
But he's needed. If you know, the vintage Joe line, if recreating that is important to you, then we definitely needed to have him. And then, speaking of characters we needed to have, Zap.
And this one's interesting because, not counting like troopers like the Crimson Guard Trooper, this is the first character that has debuted on a retro card, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that's correct. I believe so.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I can't think of any.
So he looks great. He's got the mustache. He's got the correct, like, his portrait looks fantastic. I'm glad they didn't go with like generic white guy. Like he has his Latin countenance that he should have. I think the backpack looks tremendous. I love that they're not just reusing parts, that he's got his proper backpack. He's got his proper bazooka. And they're throwing in a Sunbow laser rifle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I kind of jokingly wish they'd put alternate hands that are missing their thumbs in this one.
That would have been really fun. That would be do a like a Comic-Con exclusive. And thumbless hands, alternate thumbless hands, alternate portrait that's like the older portrait.
Mm-hmm. With the receding hairline.
Mm-hmm.
Who was it? Grunt?
It was Grunt, yeah.
Okay.
And so Grunt and Grand Slam all had the same head.
So use Grunt, the classified Grunt, but paint the hair black. Put that portrait in there and do the two-handled bazooka. Like, do a full Zap loadout and just make it some goofy little box, like an anniversary box or something. I don't know. I think that would be neat. I would get it just for fun.
The helmet, I know I pointed out in our chat, but you know they're going to re-release all of these 013 figures eventually with that helmet.
I would think so, yeah. Kevin Riddle says the H on the belt buckle is a nice touch. Yeah, and Hawk had that. Or wait, I think it's Hawk. My review went up yesterday. Somebody tell me. I think Hawk had that as well. So yeah, Zap's looking really good. Very pleased with how he turned out. Colors, the color of green seems right to me as well.
Yeah.
After talking about Short Fuse and Steeler and how they seem to have swapped their greens, it's good to see Zap looks like he should look. So those were
a couple away from our 013 collection being complete.
What have we got left?
Flash and double flash.
Yeah,
Flash
right.
and Grand Slam.
Yeah, and that's actually a good point. Rekship says Zap's face is just mildly irritated. That's a good point. He does have an expression, but it's not as extreme as Crazy Legs, so it's fine that that's his only look. That's not a big deal. So here are the card backs. I just don't care about, nothing. Well, I guess it is something against the artist. I just don't find myself inspired by these on the card. And I also don't care for, if you notice, these have the same look as the Walmart modern scale retro figures that they did, where the accessories are all packed out, just floating over the head. I still think that doesn't look great. So there's nothing here for me to want to keep a mint on card. But 2 out of 3 I'll be ordering. All right. We got some name reveals, and the only reason these have no background behind them is because the source I got them from, they're just PNGs with no background. So we've got Taurus and Red Dog. These are the images that they used in the presentation. So we can assume that they're going to be based a little more closely off of the Sunbow designs than the original figures, which, I mean, weren't too far off.
Mm-hmm.
But these, I like that they're using this more for the inspiration.
And I presume that we'll eventually get a Mercer on a retro card back to go with them.
When I was a kid, and when I saw this reveal, I remember liking the Taurus figure so much. And I've discovered that I like some weird G.I. Joe characters when I was younger. Like, my favorite figure was Big Boa for some reason. And I don't know what that says about me. Or like, but I vividly remember, like, yeah, Taurus and Big Boa, these are my guys.
Well, I mean, I liked all the weird figures when I was a kid. It wasn't until I started getting involved with the G.I. Joe online community just a few years ago that I even found out people didn't like, or not even didn't like, people loathed like Crystal Ball and Raptor and stuff like that. I had no idea until, just like everything else, the internet, lets you know how lousy the world is. But yeah, these are must-haves for me. I mean, Slaughter's Renegades. This completes them.
I mean, is this why Zap has a mildly irritated face? Is because he's just a soldier, and then these weirdos start joining, and he's like, "Come on, guys!" Like,
well, as we've been reviewing, you just get some shirtless karate stuntman selling fudgy bars, and he just gets to join the team.
It's true. It's very true. All right, and also another side effect of Kristian not being here is the chat is not going to be monitored and responded to quite as well as it has been since he took it over. Name reveal, Hydro Viper, and again, this is the image they used in the panel, so okay. This is exciting for me. I never owned a Hydro Viper. I still don't, just because I haven't bought one yet, but this is going to be a great classified figure.
I'm curious just because I can see them decking him out with a lot of accessories and possibly even a pet if this becomes if this is a standard release figure, or if it becomes a pet / deluxe.
Right.
Because they like to do that now with the troop builders, which is bizarre to me.
So did one of the Hydro Vipers came with a thing? Did the original?
I don't remember if this one did or not. I don't think it did. It was the eel that came with an accessory, like a little.
One came with like a manta ray, right?
Eel version 2, right?
Yeah.
And then there was something that came with like a bionic barracuda, right?
Hydro Viper.
Yeah.
The Hydro Viper did come. Okay, the Hydro Viper did come with a little manta ray.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I've got a feeling this is not going to be a $27.99 figure.
No, probably not. It's going to be like $39.99 or something.
Mm-hmm.
Which, yeah, as you said, all these deluxe troop builders, it's a little rough. But I'm excited. This will be a fantastic.
It makes the decision that much easier for me.
But this will be a great classified figure. As will Zanya. Now, this is not the image they chose, because the image they chose was really weird. It was a sketch. I can't remember what the source was, but I pulled this one instead. Very excited. One, to expand the Dreadnoks, but two, just because I really liked her character's introduction. I always enjoyed what DDP did with bringing in new characters, and I always dug her. I did see, as I was looking for an image to use, I did find somebody who suggested Shotzi Blackheart as casting, which visually, sure, but I have seen samplings of her acting skills And while I'm a huge fan of her as a sports entertainer, I will say no thank you.
I'm curious how they'll do the hair on this one.
That's the thing I'm actually most excited about, is seeing how they do the hair.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's going to have to be like it'll be the separate, not removable necessarily, but the separate hairpiece like they do. But it's going to have to be a much softer plastic, I bet, to accommodate the braids hanging down. That would be my guess. And then last but certainly not least, Ninja Force Zartan. We've talked about him many times, and this is the closest I've ever looked at this card art for him. And he sure is doofy looking. And I'm not even talking about his mohawk and his face paint, because I think those look awesome. What is up with his face? What is he doing?
Where is he looking?
Right. Not where he's getting ready to shoot that arrow.
That's punk rock. He doesn't even need to look.
He doesn't even care. This is another one. This is going to be an incredible classified figure. Now, it's probably going to be deluxe, right?
And my understanding is this is a Target exclusive, right?
I don't know. Was that said? Hoffman said that.
Yeah.
Did they say that during the panel? I don't know.
Yeah.
Does that mean then? Well, no, because they've already done Slice and Dice. I was going to say, does that mean Ninja Force is going to be Target's brand going forward? But I don't know.
The card art better say Real Ninja Action on it.
I mean, it probably will. It wouldn't surprise me a bit. Although I do wish they would use the really garish pinks and stuff.
Yeah.
When they're doing stuff like this. Hoffman says Ninja Force Zartan going to be a pain in the ass to get. I don't know. I mean, none of the Target stuff since Cobra Island has really been a problem, has it?
It's all been. Matter of fact, if it's a deluxe, you're going to find it on clearance before you find it at retail price.
Right. Noah Manchild says, I'm ready for Brett White to cosplay as Ninja Force Zartan. Oh, we all are. Let's go.
My wife has already done that.
She did Ninja Force?
She did cosplayed as Brett White, cosplaying as Ninja Force Zartan.
Yes. She doesn't even know that Brett White exists yet, but she's already done this.
I think Ryan Cadaver's already got a battle vest. He's halfway there.
Yeah, that's true. This would take him 10 minutes to put together. And I mean, commonly cosplayed, I would say especially the past 5 years, I have seen more Ninja Force Zartans than I have seen standard Zartans in costumes.
Yeah.
So that's it for MCM. Did anything, not even necessarily Joe, anything else, any other news out of there that was interesting or important?
They revealed a bunch of Black Series figures. They revealed better Black Series figures at MCM than they did at New York.
Now, are whatever the lightsaber effects, the swooshes or whatever, is that new? They haven't done that before?
They've done it before. They had one with Dooku. I can't think of it. I know Dooku had one in that last re-release of him. But this may be the first time I think an Obi-Wan figure had it. But yeah, this is the first announcements we've really gotten since the official price hike, and they got me.
So they knew we better put some good stuff out there if we're going to get people to commit to that $28. Well, and I said, I think before we went on the air, vintage collection stuff is at $20 now, and I'm out.
Mm-hmm.
I can't. I actually saw in Walmart the other day that video game character, the blue skin female from Jedi Survivor. They have the Black Series
Alia Sakura.
Yeah. No. This is she's strictly just a video game character.
Is it Miram?
I don't know. I haven't played Jedi Survivor, but it's one of those where it was like, oh, this character looks awesome. I haven't played the game yet. It's only been out 4 years or whatever, so I just hadn't gotten to it. But they have the Black Series and the Vintage Collection, and I was like, you know what? Let me go ahead and grab it just to have it, because it does look cool, and this may be one that doesn't stick around forever. And then I saw it was $20. I put it right back. I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
So that's where we are. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. Rexship says the witch lady Marin is her name, I think. Yeah, I was thinking she was a Night Sister, but I didn't want to say it because I wasn't positive.
Yeah, she's a Night Sister.
Okay.
I make smoochy faces with Cal.
So that brings us to the next portion of our news. Since there wasn't a ton of Joe to talk about and not a lot of news otherwise, we are going to talk about some spooky toys. Since Halloween is just a few days away, we've compiled a list, and this is not all inclusive. These are just things that jumped out at us that are currently available or will be available, within the next year or so. There are a couple of them that might be pre-orders, but for the most part, these are things that you can go and buy right now. So get ready. These are all G.I. Joe adjacent in the sense that in some way or another they can scale with one of your G.I. Joe collections and add some creepiness to it. So we're going to start with I'm going to start by saying if you go to Best Buy, they have a ton of NECA horror figures on pretty good clearance right now, anywhere from like $10 to $15 off. Matter of fact, this is not spooky at all, but I got Bert and Ernie for less than the cost of just Bert or just Ernie. So I was like, well, I can't not buy those. So I grabbed Bert and Ernie for. I did manage to find.
I did manage to find the Tales from Space Marty McFly at Ross for like $16.99.
Yeah, I bought that at Ross also.
Yeah, Ross and Ollie's both are getting tons of stuff in right now. I haven't checked ours locally because there's never anything at ones near us. Well, and also Walmart has that end cap of $24.99 NECA figures right now. So there's some good deals out there. But we'll move on to Ryan. You brought this up, and we'll talk about it a little bit. Our image comes from. It's very tiny on the screen. galacticfigures.com. And this is a compilation of what?
These are the Halloween Black Series figures. They've been doing this series for a couple of years now, and they do the holiday ones too. You can get the holiday ones now. I poo-pooed these at first, and then I started getting them, and I love them. They're just silly. I really like the witch with the Asajj Ventress.
Yeah, they're just fun.
Mm-hmm. And the ghost glows in the dark. I know everybody's a sucker for glow in the dark figures, and the glow is excellent. And you can find the Amazon exclusive Asajj Witch is a little harder to get, but the Mummy and the Ghost, like, they're on at all the Walmarts right now. And I like a lot of times they come with the smaller little, I guess, pets, but the porgs and the.
Yeah, it looks like they all come with a little pet companion.
Mm-hmm. My only down on these so far has been I like the 2-pack they did for Amazon last year, with kind of the Frankenstein and Dracula, but how did they do the Dracula as the Inquisitor and not do Count Dooku?
Yeah, that's insane.
Come on, guys.
That is nuts. Although, looking at these, none of them are using a specific actor's likeness.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder if that plays into it. Like, it has to be like you don't want to involve Christopher Lee's estate with some goofy Halloween figure.
Yeah, probably.
Because all of these have been, not likeness involved.
Mm-hmm.
So we've had a couple of questions in the chat about NECA. NECA current retail price is $37.99 for a NECA figure. Which
they were $30 a few years ago.
Yeah, it's been a while since they were $30. They've been $34.99 for a while. But I will tell you right now, $37.99 for everything the NECA figure comes with is the best mass market deal you're going to get.
Yeah.
So yeah, I dig all of these. I think they're a lot of fun. I've seen the Mummy and the Ghost in every Walmart I've gone to, but the other day they had, and I don't know if this is a find or not, I just wanted it. They had the holiday R2-D2.
He was difficult to find initially. They've released more of them.
Okay.
But he's a really good one. And he can go with, if you get your Home Depot R2-D2 decoration, he can go with it. which I'm currently stalking Home Depots trying to find it.
So what your suggestion with these was, what could Joe do in a similar vein?
Yeah.
And I think that's a little tougher proposition in a weird way, because I think there's a little more leeway to get a little silly with Star Wars. You know, say what you will about Crystal Ball, Raptor, whatever else. I think once you start painting cobras in like Christmas sweaters or something, I don't know. Joe fans can be very sensitive about how our franchise is treated.
I think Star Wars is such a mass market property that, you know, everybody knows Star Wars. Everybody everybody knows somebody who likes Star Wars. And yes, this novelty Star Wars items have been a thing for, as long as Star Wars has been around. So I think they get away with it a lot easier. We see they've done Transformers holiday stuff a few times too, because Transformers is that big of a property now too, but I just don't know if G.I. Joe could pull it off.
And Rekship is saying Zombie Viper, but that's different. That's just an existing, horror sci-fi element within Joe. I'm talking about altering, like putting airtight in mummy bandages or something. Like, I just don't think it would be received very well.
You could make Mindbender Dr. Frankenstein pretty easy.
I mean, people want the lab coat Mindbender already. So, I don't know. Nothing jumped out at me as like an other than maybe doing like glow in the dark decos of some of the, more horror oriented characters or something like that. I don't know. There's a whole lot of meat on the bone for Joe there.
I mean, I'm always up for doing Cobra Troopers in random colors. You could do them in black and orange for Halloween. You could do them in Christmas colors, whatever, just do them throughout the year. But that's just me.
Yeah. All right. Moving on to some Four Horsemen releases. Now, these are just pre-orders, but the pre-orders are available through October 31st at storehorseman.com. You've got a couple of graveyard zombies that are, as you can see, if you're watching our video feed, there's a male and a female. They've got alternate portraits, and they have alternate clothing options as well. Because if you're familiar with the Four Horsemen figures, they do the what are the holiday figures called that they do? Obscura, something Obscura, figure Obscura, right? That have soft goods garments and things. So these two zombie figures have interchangeable parts, look really cool. And then they've also got these skeletons that are $20 a piece, which I think is a deal for a 1/12. These are all 1/12 scale. They're $20 a piece for a blind box skeleton. And you don't know what color you're going to get, but these are the highly articulated, Four Horsemen Mythic Legion style skeletons. I think it's really cool. I think this is a neat little Halloween thing they've put together. However, my complaint is, as has been going on for decades now, can we have this stuff so it comes out at Halloween rather than you pre-order it at Halloween? It drives me crazy. Like, yeah, it's cool, but now these are going to come in like May.
Right.
And
what's the better marketing gimmick? Putting Halloween stuff out in March where you're not thinking about Halloween as much, or like for pre-order, knowing that you're going to get it at Halloween time, or putting it out now when you're thinking about Halloween and then you're ready to put your money down for it. I'm sure that some marketing research has gone into this plan.
Even if they can have
I'm sure as well, because that's how everybody does it. But I don't know, it just annoys me. Well, ideally, they would keep their mouths shut until the product was ready to sell and just have it in stock. But I understand that's not how independent toy companies are able to operate. Most aren't. Some are. Speaking of, you know what? I didn't add this because it just happened today. I didn't have an opportunity to add it. Speaking of independent toy companies having product just in stock, tomorrow, Zombie Sailor Toys is dropping 3 Halloween-specific figures. They have revealed 2 of the 3. One of them is Flower Crown Danhausen. These are all the retro style, the like WWF Hasbro style figures. The Flower Crown Danhausen figure, a Hannibal Lecter figure, and then the third has not yet been announced. And as I said, these are in stock and will ship after you pay for them. So it is possible. Zombie Sailor's been doing a lot of in-stock stuff lately. Actually, the last wave that dropped, he just put up a wave with Hakushi. Oh gosh, who else is in it? Todd Pettengill, and two other figures, and they were in stock. He didn't announce them, didn't do pre-orders, didn't do any. Well, he announced them. We knew they were coming, but there were no pre-orders. Just dropped them, sold them. It was great.
All of us.
But yeah, check out Store Horseman.
Todd Pettingill figure.
It looks great too. It's awesome. So storehorseman.com. Check it out for your graveyard zombies and your skeletons. Of course, Operation Monster Force is out there. Big Bad Toy Store has tons of them up for pre-order, has tons in stock available right now. You can check out the reviews here on the Needless Things YouTube channel. Then we go over to Boss Fight Studio and the Court of the Dead figures, which are a collaboration with Sideshow. If you remember years ago, Sideshow launched these 1/6 scale Court of the Dead figures that have their own like mythology. And now Boss Fight is doing 1/12 scale versions of these figures. These 2 that you're looking at on the screen, whose names I did not write down, are available right now from Boss Fight, coming in any day now at Big Bad. I think they're even up on Amazon, although the pre-orders might be sold out. But these are, I got the Red Sonja figure from Boss Fight, and it's amazing. I've got some of their wrestling figures that they've done, also amazing. And as a matter of fact, I also have that creepy death lady.
Oh.
With the removable mask. Absolutely incredible paint job. Like the way that deco goes up the legs, up the arms. Their Boss Fight stuff is fantastic. And, you know, you kind of have to compare it to Mythic Legions a little bit because they're in the same vein. And to me, they feel a little better than a Mythic Legions figure. A little sturdier.
A little sturdy. I was about to say, Mythic Legions, you got to be ginger with them sometimes.
Yeah. These feel more like action figures. So moving on to some more skeletons, Boss Fight also has a 2-for-1, buy one, get one free on a ton of their skeleton figures. As you can see here on the screen, if you're watching, they've got a luchador figure, a cowboy figure, a bunch of different warriors from different times, a Viking, all kinds of interesting stuff, swappable parts, interchangeable heads, lots of accessories. So for $30, you can get 2 of these 1/12 scale skeleton figures. I think that is a bargain.
Yeah, that's killer.
So I actually was going to order them earlier, but then got distracted by finishing up the show notes. So I'm going to have to get back on Boss Fight's website and get these skeletons before this sale ends, which it ends. I'll go ahead and look it up right now so everybody knows, because if you're listening on Friday, I don't want you to jump on here and think you can get some skeletons if the sale is over. This promotion will end on October 31st at 11:59 p.m. So you have through Halloween to order yourself some skeletons, which is also, by the way, when the pre-order for the Four Horsemen zombie figures ends. So
who has licensed the Skeleton Warriors now? That's my question.
That's a good question. It might be Varner Studios, because Playmates Toys put the figures out and also did the re-releases in the early 2000s, or maybe mid-aughts. But I believe they were all designed by Varner Studios, who may retain it. But I'm not positive. I don't know for sure. I would love to see Skeleton Warriors in this style.
Mm-hmm.
That would be fantastic, and it seems like an easy. Well, I say easy. Well, yeah, it does. It seems like an easy sell. Like, make a bunch of skeletons. Cool, let's go.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Next up, we've got some Healy made figures. If you remember, I shared those Healy made figures I bought a few weeks ago. These are just some Halloween specific ones that are available right now. You've got two versions of a 3-inch witch. They're both glow in the dark. One of them is Rotten Gourd, and one of them is Rotten Pumpkin. And then on the right side of your screen, if you're watching the video feed, this is the Hallowed Wrestler, which is, if you notice, the helmets are actually different. Well, the whole figure is different between the 6-inch one and the 3.75-inch one. The smaller one has that rangefinder down, and the larger one doesn't appear to even have a rangefinder. But they're in slightly different poses. These are both glow in the dark as well, with a green and orange spooky Halloween color. Healy Made does all kinds of awesome stuff, so be sure and check them out. Their little Glyos 3.75-inch figures are just great. Speaking of Glyos, from Toyfinity, which you should check out my interview with Toyfinity on the Needless Things podcast, went up a few months ago. Toyfinity has some new releases. Now, they had another one as well, but it's sold out, so I'm not going to tease your eyes with it. But we can take a look at Grimlord, Manglinator, and Aquaskull. These are from Toyfinity's licensed Manglors figures. If you remember, Manglors were the stretchy figures that were supposed to rip apart and go back together.
Toys sold on lies.
So yeah, these are Glyos Manglors. So you actually can take them apart and put them back together and swap all the parts. They're great little figures, and all the Glyos stuff is I've been really enjoying that stuff lately. And these are all available on the Toyfinity website right now. All spooky, weird, creepy figures that will tower over your 3.75-inch G.I. Joes. Next up, an announcement that came today, but that I had to get into the show. Noel, I don't know if you saw this or not. I want your immediate reaction.
I did see these, yes.
Our pal Chris at Grindhouse Toys, the voice of Claymore, by the way, has gone, and they're done. Speaking of working in silence, these are ready. They will be available at Retro Toy Con and at where are they showing up first? I meant to put a note in here.
I don't know. The screen's much smaller now that we have to share it with the little.
Yeah, I know.
Mobile.
It's creating some problems. Road Pig John says, "Is anybody reading this chat?" Road Pig John, as I mentioned earlier, Kristian is not here tonight, so I'm running the show and trying to handle the chat, which is a lot. So we're kind of reading it when we can. So let's see here. So Grindhouse Toys, anywhere. World War Hell Buddies. We've got two of the characters from World War Hell, because one of them is the Spectre, and then the other one is the faceless gentleman with face or without face. Spooky and creepy and wonderful. And they are the 22-inch size. So these are big pillow buddies, like the old wrestling buddies, but they're World War Hell.
And that's not a bad price for 22-inch stuffed figures.
No, $40 for these is great, because WWE equivalents right now, well, depending on who you get them from. But yeah, that's a solid price.
The question is, would my wife accept these as throw pillows in our living room?
I think the answer is, when you put them on the couch in the living room, it's already done.
I mean, the boredom matches our decor, so.
Okay, so he's going to have them first at Spooky Empire in Orlando this weekend. But I talked to Chris earlier today, and he's going to have them at Retro Toy Con in Greenville as well. provided stock lasts that long. And that's what I'm curious about. This is hilarious. Reverend Scott Stripling art. I'm gonna have to come back to that. Will World War Hell fans get this connection, or will they just be confused by why there are pillows of these characters? So Reverend Scott Stripling, I remember your dog and your Hogan pillow, Dave. So I have no idea. I have no idea what you're talking about. I can infer a couple of things, but
Hulkamania ran wild.
Yeah, well, no, it sounds like maybe Sam the dog ran wild.
Yeah.
I don't even remember having a Hogan wrestling buddy. I don't remember having any wrestling buddies. So that's interesting. So I had a wrestling buddy? At 49 years old, this is news to me.
That's somebody you were, I guess.
Yeah, well, I mean, I was never, despite a Hogan King Kong Bundy interaction, I don't think it was me, Scott, because my parents were very anti-wrestling. I didn't have any wrestling, like toys or anything. You might be mistaken. Or, I mean, I might be as well, but I don't think I had any wrestling stuff at all when I was a kid. So anyway, moving on. World War Hell Buddies reviews coming soon. Are you sure it wasn't James? I could see James, although he probably would have been the one ruining the Hogan Buddies. Last thing, and I don't think I bothered getting any images for this one because there's so many, but Boglins are, oh man, I had one out and loose. Let me reach back here. Well, that went on the floor. So Boglins, classic 80s toys. They are, I didn't pop the bottom out of that one. Let's see here. Speaking of interviews, I also talked to Tim Clark, creator of Boglins and Sectars, and worked on a lot of Jim Henson projects back in the day. Great guy. So Boglins, excellent gross out spooky toy, and Big Bad Toy Store currently has the newest Boglins available, crazy marked down. Up 50% off and more. I got one of the Bat Boglins for $12 the other day. So these are just excellent toys, great gifts. Like if you know any kids, go to Big Bad and get yourself some like $20 or less Boglins to give away, or even just your friends. Like that, for that price, this wild puppet figure is amazing.
And Tim Clark, he's doing these himself, or he was for a little while, right?
He's what?
He was doing these himself.
Yes. He was, when I interviewed him, he was doing, and I believe still is doing, a lot of like custom designer toys. He was doing a line called Totems, and then started casting new Boglins.
Mm-hmm.
I've actually got a couple that he just literally cast himself. But then after that interview, because when I interviewed him, he was like, I was surprised anybody even wanted to talk about this stuff. He had that little like awareness of nostalgia or anything, mm-hmm. or his place in pop culture. And then after I talked to him, he made a deal with a toy company, and they produced tons of brand new Boglins out of much better materials than the originals were. Because the original Boglins, if they were taken care of, they can still be in pretty good shape. But for the most part, that rubber deteriorated because, like with our Joes, those things were never meant to last 30, 40 years. They just weren't designed that way. But these are all new materials. Like, they're going to stand the test of time. They come in the same, as you saw, they come in the same crates that the originals did. And like I said, Big Bad has incredible prices on them right now. So that is my spooky toy pick of the night. And you can use those with Classified or with your little Joes. Is just that can be Destro's, Moat Monster or whatever. Anything else occur to you guys when we talked about maybe discussing some spooky toys?
Nothing new, but I was kind of going through some of my favorite spooky toys throughout the years and thinking about some things that would not be things that people would think about necessarily when they think about spooky toys. Like this guy right here.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
That's a GoBot, right?
This is as he is known in Japan, Devil Satan 6. As he was sold in the United States as Monstrous, but he is a combiner of 6 GoBots, monster GoBots that completely goes together as this combiner without any additional parts. So
that's great.
Yeah, I was like, definitely one of my favorite spooky toys of all time.
I pulled out my original movie Maniacs when we first started talking about this. Look, are they good by today's standards? No. But I still have a lot of nostalgia for those things.
Oh,
I've got several of mine still up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, mine are all on the shelf. I had to take I had to put the signs away, the movie poster things, because they take up so much space. But yeah, all my movie Maniacs are on my horror shelf over there still because they're so nostalgic for me. They're so inaccurate.
Yeah,
they're so nostalgic.
I picked up not too long ago. I got the Norman Bates one just because I'd never had it when it first came out. It's better than because it was one of the later waves.
Yeah,
but I've still got. I mean, like that Edward Scissorhands one. You know, it's really good.
And there are, that first wave is the one that's kind of like a little sketchy as far as where they pulled their concept art from. But as they went on, like by the time they got to Edward Scissorhands, they were making. I mean, they're statues; they're not really action figures, but they were doing really good work.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, here we go. This is some good news. Road Pig John, what is happening? GoBots cartoon is now on Tubi. You just blew Noel's mind.
Oh, he had to lean in.
I'm just sick of seeing myself this big on screen.
Oh. Oh yeah, we should put you away. Sorry about that.
We needed your GoBots reaction.
Yeah, I have seen that it's on Tubi, and I have tried once again to try to watch that series, and I can't get through the first 2 episodes. It's not.
Reverend Scott Stripling says, I used to have all those Sideshow Universal Monsters. Are you the Sideshow toys that were at Toys R Us like 2000-ish, 98, 2000, around there? They're close to classified size, right? No, they are not. They are giant. They're like 8-inch. They tower over classified, and I still have all of those out on the shelf as well. All right, well, that brings us to our favorite segment of the show, the one where we need you, the Audible Army, to contribute. Every time, if you're following Audible Interlude Podcast on Instagram, every time we're doing a live stream, we will put up a post that says Sound Off, where we are requesting your input as to what we are going to talk about. So let's get into it. It is time now to sound off. First up, from Todd5719. Hopefully this one isn't too long. Given that figures like Retro Cardback Cover Girl and Combat Armor Cobra Commander, I appreciate your attention to detail by saying Combat Armor Cobra Commander. Come with multiple portraits, and other companies are releasing packs of portraits and or hands. Which 10 G.I. Joe classified figures should get new alternative portraits, and what expression should they have? Excluding the obvious Hooded Cobra Commander and non-Team America World Police Lieutenant Falcon. So if we're not talking about Falcon, and we don't talk about Hooded Cobra Commander, I put together a list. I couldn't come up with 10, to be honest, because there just aren't 10 that are that bad to me. But did you guys get an opportunity to take a look at this?
I just saw it right before we sat down, so I did not get a chance to go with this one. And I said, 10? That's a lot to ask. But I will say the one that's coming out, we need an alternate portrait for Crazy Legs.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah. I've been working on my list. It's Crazy Legs.
So I put together a little list here. While I didn't dislike the original cover girl portrait as much as a lot of people did, I would take a redo of red-haired CoverGirl. I'd be good with that. I put Crazy Legs on here, but now I'm going to say Crazy Legs ×2 because I want one for Night Force Crazy Legs and for this new Crazy Legs. And then Wild Bill and Ripcord, because as I said, I felt that the paint operations on those portraits with the Dragonfly figures were a little suspect in the first place. I would like to have redos of those. And then Buzzer and Ripper. I am fully switching over to Noel's side on that.
And Monkey Wrench for that matter, too.
Well, yeah. So Buzzer, Ripper, Monkey Wrench, all with attached sunglasses.
Mm-hmm. And for that matter, Sergeant Slaughter, because not that I'm going to buy another Sergeant Slaughter, but I just don't need glasses that come off on a figure who's never portrayed without their glasses.
I'm with you on that now, because there's too much. If all of them were as good as the sunglasses that came with the original Sergeant Slaughter, then fine.
Mm-hmm.
But they're not. So until you can get to the point where they are all that good, just put them on. Just make them non-removable. Sculpt them onto the head.
I would do if they were going to do another. I mean, we've gotten a couple of Storm Shadow figures already, but if they did another one unmasked, so we just get Tommy's head, that'd be great. Although I'm wondering if they eventually do some like comic inspired, like Vietnam era inspired figures.
I think that's a set everybody would lose their minds over if they did the Long Range Recon Patrol.
Yep.
People will go nuts for that. And then Lady J, although honestly, I think the whole figure needs a redo, but I would like another portrait on that.
Would you
and
send
then
that
finally,
we need another Lady J to sit on the shelf for 3 years without ever moving.
That's what I say. Does it ship straight to Ollie's?
And then finally, the one that I threw on there just because is I wouldn't mind another Dusty portrait. And similarly to the sunglass figures, just make the helmet part of his head and do a soft goods neck cover in the back.
Mm-hmm.
And I just threw that in because I'm not happy. I think we're all still not quite happy with the Dusty figure in general, but the helmet being too big, and I know the goggles fix, but come on. So those were mine. G.I. Joe Collector 76. Do you guys prefer the realism, at least 1982 to 84, of the early line or the sci-fi direction it took later? Well, if by later you mean when Flash was introduced into the line, then yes. But, I mean, I love it. If you listen to the show, you know the answer to this question. We're not here for realism. We're not here for modern military. We're here for the fun of G.I. Joe.
I like, a little grounded in reality, but not like I don't want plastic army men, blown up,
right.
into posable figures.
Well, there are other brands that do that.
Yeah,
and good for them.
I always just like when there's a couple of regular dudes around that are confused by what's happening.
There's a guy with a football jersey and some guy wearing a Hawaiian shirt, and they're just hanging out.
Yeah.
Tom Henry. So I asked this 2 or 3 months ago, and y'all said it was a Halloween question. Cobra has put together a squad with Sasquatch, Chupacabra, the Jersey Devil, and Mothman. What squad of 5 Joes do you send after them, and what vehicles do they use? Also, are they successful? Hashtag Fang 2025. Hashtag is a Sasquatch. What is a Sasquatch evil, though? I think he just wants to be left alone. Okay, yeah. Gotcha. Well, that was really my initial thought with this was, well, these are not inherently evil creatures, but we're gonna looking at Sunbow. I think we can all assume the storyline would be Cobra is using some kind of mind control on these creatures and forcing them to fight the Joes. And at the end of the episode, the Joes save them and they all go wandering in their separate directions and everything's fine. So I think for the purposes of this, these creatures are not inherently evil, in my mind anyway. Mm-hmm. but did you guys have time to put together your teams?
I did.
All right,
So
what do you got?
I am like 95%.
Go ahead, no.
I was to say I'm like 95% sure that when you initially posed this question a few months ago, that I answered it, and I went through all my notes and I can't find it. So I'm kind of at a loss for that. But just on the top of my head, the Jersey Devil is going to have to be battling at least Clutch because he's from New Jersey, and Mutt as well. So they're on board to fight that Jersey Devil.
Solid.
So,
and the Mothman is a West Virginia thing. Are there Joes from West Virginia?
Good question.
Yeah.
Somebody in the chat knows. Where'd Wreck Ship go? All right, go ahead, Ryan.
All right. So when I put together my list, I did it more as a storyline. Because that's just how I think. All right. So my team, you've got Stalker, who is your vet army guy who doesn't believe in any of this nonsense, but will be surprised that these things are real. You get Quick Kick, who's our character in the story, the horror story, that's making jokes and gets decapitated.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. No, it's a whole storyline. You've got Mutt and Junkyard. So you need this in the story where, like, our team is down and the monster's coming to kill one of them, and the loyal dog saves them. And then the dog probably dies.
No.
And then, and look, I know this one is stereotypical, but you need Spirit in there because he is going to have the knowledge.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, this said the Sasquatch is probably like out hiding somewhere, so you need a tracker to find him.
Yeah,
that's why you get the character of Tracker.
He's going to know their weaknesses. And he's also going to reveal my final member, CoverGirl, who has some sort of relationship to them because her grandma like conjured something or other, and is our final girl in the story.
Yeah. I like that approach. Well done. Any specific vehicle for this mission? Just whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever they would have had in Sunbow.
Yeah, I think they're lost in the woods. There's no vehicles.
Oh, wow. Okay. They get dropped. The Tomahawk dropped them.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So the team I put together, they're traveling in the Warthog. You've got Stalker, Sergeant Slaughter, Dr. Link Talbot, because I was thinking an animal expert would be good to have around. Grand Slam with the jump, because you're going to want some kind of aerial operative to deal with the Mothman potentially. And then finally, Blowtorch, because you may just have to set them all on fire. So that was my team.
Only Blowtorch can start forest fires.
The stink of Sasquatch hair burning in the night.
Well, yeah, actually, yeah, I guess the Scott Stripling says a new monster truck, but actually the Monster Blaster APC would probably be the more appropriate vehicle than the Warthog. I was just thinking compact armored vehicle, but yeah, Monster Blaster might be the winner. Next up, our pal Yorktown Joe with just a comment. I've got to travel for work, but I wanted to thank Dave for prioritizing Phantom Jr.'s birthday. Hope everyone had a good time together. We had a great time together. We had the best time Saturday night going to see Them Might Be Giants together. That was amazing. By the time this is read, the show may be well along the timeline. Yo, Joe, and keep her moving. Thank you, Yorktown Joe. You are awesome. Yo, Joe, to you. Our pal Gary Mitchell, Sneezy the Squid, who is one of the directors of the DragonCon American Sci-Fi Classics track, where you can find Audible Interlude each and every year live. So, for the big Joe and Cobra Halloween parties, which Joe and Cobra wins best costume, worst costume, and who brings the best snacks? Cobra. I don't get to do that very often. I appreciate that opportunity, Gary. I'll go ahead with this one because I had plenty of time to take a look at my answers, being newly self-employed. So the costume contest winners are Scarlet as Buffy the Vampire Slayer
Oh.
and Xandar as John Cena. Eh? Eh?
See.
Worst costume is for the Joes, Doc, because I fully believe he's the kind of guy who would just wear scrubs.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you know somebody who's in the medical industry and they show up to your costume party just wearing scrubs like it's a costume. Lame. I think Doc would be, as much as I love Doc, I think he'd be that guy. And then for the Cobras, it would be Zartan in his crummy beard mask.
The Master of Disguise would have the worst costume,
Right.
of course.
Yes. Well, and I thought about like nobody, even it doesn't matter how good his costume is. Everybody at Cobra is going to be so exasperated by, well, he's the Master of Disguise. Of course, he's got a good costume. Like nobody's going to vote for him anyway. So he just wears his dumb beard mask. Snacks. I didn't really have anything creative for the Joes. I just said Roadblock because he's your default answer for anything food related.
Yeah.
But for Cobra, I said Darklon because he's going to bring that exotic Darklonian chocolate that everybody loves. And I'm giving that as a freebie to the Energon Universe team. If you want to throw Darklonian chocolate, some kind of subplot with that, you can have that one. That's a gift from me to you.
Is that like Dubai style chocolate?
I don't know. It's just dark chocolate, but better.
So I went with for best costume because he is an undercover guy. He's probably got a bunch hanging out in his closet. Is Chuckles. So I'm sure he's got costumes galore. He can.
Yeah. That's solid.
I feel like Dr. Mindbender, if he's bold enough to run around with, his shirt off like that all the time and that cod piece, he's probably also going to be fun at parties, coming up with some fun costumes.
Okay.
Worst costume, it's got to be Beachhead because he's allergic to fun. He's the guy who comes to the party wearing the "This is my Halloween costume" T-shirt.
If that even.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And then for worst costume, I said Darklon because his mask is burned to his face and he can never take it off. So he's stuck just having Darklon's head.
He's got that mask, but then like a witch hat on.
I was also uncreative and I said Roadblock. Although I did say Barbecue probably would be good too because he likes to barbecue. For the best snacks for the Cobras, however, it's the Dreadnoks because they're bringing donuts and grape soda. And grape soda.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I'll give you that one. Robert Friedman says, do you think we will get a Super Trooper? I am every single day thoughts and prayers for Super Trooper in Classified. I've been talking about it for 5 years. Oh, you shut your dirty mouth, Yorktown Joe. Yorktown Joe says if we do get Super Trooper, he won't be vac metal. It'll be sad, marbleized gray plastic. Get out of here. But no, like
we've gotten vac metal already in the line, so you know what? There's a precedent.
Yeah, we got it on Cobra Commander's mask, but also I've been saying since we've been doing this show, Mattel has successfully executed vac metal in the Masters Universe Origins line. Somebody at Hasbro needs to talk to somebody at Mattel and figure out how they did that and get us a Super Trooper.
Yeah.
All right, and last one.
Oh, I got mine.
Oh, yeah. What do you got?
I got mine. All right.
I wasn't sure if you'd had time or not.
Yeah. For my best for G.I. Joe, I got Sci-Fi. Because that dude goes to conventions and has some crazy Warhammer.
Oh, good call.
Yeah, he crossed my mind as well.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even think about it. Excellent call. Okay.
Because we know he goes to conventions. We've seen the episode.
Right.
Yeah. And then for my best for Cobra, I've got Raptor. Because that dude commits. He is committed. He clearly has some, technical skills to build his bird wings. and he has built an excellent Bird from Up costume that people are confused by, but it's the best Kevin costume you've ever seen.
I actually believe that Raptor's his whole get up was just basically he was trying to prepare something for Dragon Con, and it just was like, hey, you know what? I could join a terrorist organization with this thing.
He started making a Always Sunny in Philly costume. Just got out of hand.
A tale as old as time.
And then for my worst, going against Noel, my worst is Chuckles. Because he's going to show up in his Hawaiian shirt and like a Cobra helmet with a beer hat on and be like, oh, I'm a Cobra guy from vacation. And then my worst for Cobra is Baroness, who's going to show up in her skin-tight black costume and some cat ears. And yeah, everybody's going to pay attention to her, but her costume sucks.
Storytelling.
Well, just from watching the G.I. Joe cartoon, if there is a female character who is not one of our established characters, they're one of our female characters that are established in disguise.
True.
Mm-hmm.
So
Baroness is going to win the costume contest and then take a mask off, and it's Zorana.
Destro's going to be angry.
Did you have snacks?
I did Roadblock like y'all did for Joe. And I don't think Cobra has good snacks. It's probably like one bag of chips.
That's solid. I agree. By default, it's Major Blood because he was told to take care of the snacks, but all he brings is a bag of off-brand plain potato chips and no dip. White Vegeta says, while I believe the team for Classified does a decent enough job with modern military, they really shine when it comes to wacky monsters. Fully expecting them to finish up Cobra Law probably next year. Name 3 additional monsters you would like them to tackle. Fatal Fluffy, Red Shadow Kraken, Mega Marine Bio Viper. Those 3. I mean, we've talked about all 3 of those on the show before. I mean, those are probably my top 3 picks, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, mine's pretty easy. It's Carcass, Predacon, Lobotomax.
Yeah,
it's the Lunartix Empire.
Yeah, that would be awesome. And I think we'll get there. Now, they'll be $78 a piece, but we'll get there.
Sure.
All right. And I believe... Oh, no, we got one more. Do we have more than one more? Oh, no, we've got a couple more here. Okay, Scott Stripling Art.
More, yeah.
Not really a question. I just wanted to say that Legion Cub's deep dive on the voice actors is one of my favorite things about the reviews. Thanks, dude. Yes, he does a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff as far as research and doing those kinds of deep dives on stuff that, we usually, Noel and I don't even know, like, when he's going to pop stuff in. You might notice I'll be getting into the episode and Kristian will be like, well, wait, real quick. And I'm like, oh, okay, here we go. And then we get like 10 minutes of incredible background about a voice actor or something.
Yeah, this person who said 2 lines in this episode, let me tell you about their career.
Yeah, and I mean love that
only the best way, yeah.
That when you're listening to a podcast and like you get some kind of background, some kind of deep research like that you never would have done on your own, I love it. Carlos Salinas, snacks provided by Headman.
That's right, and they come in little baggies.
Don't eat anything that guy brings. And keep your hand on your beverage at all times. Silent Interlude. I was really hoping someone else would notice that episode 4 of Pyramid of Darkness was titled Choass instead of Chaos, but that may have been fixed on some versions. I bet it wasn't. I bet we just didn't notice it. I'm coming to the realization that my toy collecting is also a bit of a hoarding problem. Do you have thoughts on how to best narrow down your collection to maintain the items you love, but also have the space to enjoy them? I'm dealing with that a lot myself right now. And it really comes to a matter of, do I want this or this displayed? Because in general, I don't sell toys anymore. They'll go into storage. And I'm actually right now, I've got a few sections cleared out and I'm trying to decide what goes there. Mm-hmm. And it's tough because something in the room I'm sitting in right now needs to be packed up and go into storage. but I really am having difficulty figuring out what to do with it. And I know a lot of people rotate their collections. To me, that's insanity. I don't know how you have that much time in your life. And I just wouldn't enjoy doing it. So I don't know.
I just try to figure out how can I fit more figures on these shelves and or install more shelves in places
Right.
that, like, I mean, you've seen, because you've been down here and you have to kind of like walk around corners to see like all the shelves I've got set up, and it's not ideal because I'd like to be able to stand in the middle of the room and admire everything, but
Yeah.
you got to put things where they fit.
Yeah, you do kind of have to. But yeah, that's how it is. Oh, and by the way, I'm looking right here on our social media thumbnail for last week. Did not notice it because I put up the title card and it says right here, "Choass in the Sea of Lost Souls." I just didn't notice it. Oftentimes, our eyes perceive what we expect them to perceive.
I've been watching off the official Hasbro YouTube. I'm going to check right now to see if it's actually the same there.
I don't think it's corrected anywhere. I can't imagine them going in and replacing a title card. That's crazy. Well, and I was watching it off of the Shout Factory set, and if Shout Factory didn't correct it, it's not corrected anywhere. All right. Ninth Medina. No question, just need to vent. Hasbro should have revealed Zap, a Latino from New York, at New York Comic-Con that coincidentally took place during Latino Heritage Month. That's all. Getting off my soapbox and going back to being a random listener. Well, first of all, there are no random listeners. We value each and every one of you. Your support is invaluable. All we can hope to do is grow the audience, and you are all important. Nobody is random. But I agree. You're 100% correct. There is no argument against that. It absolutely should have gone down that way. And just like they did with having a Native American introduce the concept of the classified spirit figure, they could have had a Latino come in and discuss Zap or consult it, done something. They could have made something of it. However, not really in Hasbro's defense, because there's no defending any corporation right now. They're all complicit in the greatest evils ever wreaked upon humanity. But in the defense of the Joe team, they just don't have enough staff to consider those kinds of things. It's just not possible with the way things are now. I mean, if you look at it, they can barely coordinate announcements.
Sometimes they just cancel live streams and don't tell you why, and they never actually come back.
Yeah, I mean, I think they have enough work on their plate just trying to manage this line. In an ideal world, yes, things like that would happen. But we, as I think most people listening know, we are not in an ideal world right now. But I agree 100%. That would have been great if they had had the resources and presence of mind to pull that together. Tiki Rum Dumpster. My goodness, what a controversial name. Who would ever go by that moniker? Outrageous. With Ninja Force Zartan going to Target as an exclusive, what sub-team will go to Walmart next? We've gotten this one before. These kinds of things are tough for me to think about because I don't care. I mean, if I'm being honest, it'll be whatever it is. If it's a sub-team or if it's some made-up thing like Mole Rats or whatever, whatever.
Let Walmart have Eco Warriors.
Well, and that's
I want Eco Warriors. I don't want Walmart to distribute those.
Right, and I honestly hope we've moved past the idea of relating sub teams to specific retailers. And as we mentioned before, Slice and Dice came out with the Ninja Force livery and are not Target exclusive. So Ninja Force Zartan doesn't mean Target is Ninja Force. It just means they're getting that potentially getting that figure, which, by the way, sources have been wrong before. We don't, until that's confirmed, I'm not treating it as confirmed. And right now Walmart had the Ghost Viper. Well, what is that? That's not really. It's not. Is it Crystal Ball's sub team? Like I don't know. Well, Dire. It's Dire Technology. So I don't mind them making some made up thing. to be a retailer exclusive, but I'd prefer it if they stayed away from sub teams being retailer exclusive. Like Noel said, I want Eco Warriors.
I don't care about Battle Force 2000, so you can through those.
Dude, after I got my which one? I don't even remember which one. What did I get? Dodger? Is that who that is? Whichever one I got. I'm kind of into them now. Oh, and by the way, on the Joe Fest Hall video where I shared that figure, somebody was like, "That's not the right gun," but it is. So you don't know what you're talking about, pal. Also from Tiki Rum Dumpster, what members are going on your Save Money, Live Better Mission Brazil pack? Okay, this one, what is this?
I imagine it's one you're going to skip because you're going to save that money.
Or is that like a corporate moniker for somebody? Is that like Walmart's logo or something? Oh, it is. It's Walmart's motto: "Save money, live better." So this would be Walmart's the Walmart Special Mission Walmart pack. Just repaints, maybe in like blue and yellow. I don't know.
With so they have that little Walmart little sun symbol.
The asterisk.
Yeah, instead of
is it a sun? Is that what it's supposed to be?
I don't know what it's supposed to be.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
But whatever it is, yeah, they should all have that on their uniform.
Or they should come with the little Walmart aprons. That's it. That's the only difference. Is it's just re-release of classified figures, but they have little soft goods Walmart aprons. There you go.
Or just those big smiley faces. This big yellow smiley faces.
Oh gosh, the rollback face. Is there a? Oh no, you make up a whole new team or just a character. One character. It's only one character. It's rollback, which is a pretty GI Joe sounding
good code name. Yeah,
yeah. And he's blue and yellow like primarily, but he does come with the soft goods apron. He comes with a price scanner that doesn't work. He does not come with a pricing gun because they don't use those at Walmart. And he comes with one of those inventory carts that goes like 90 miles per hour, and they try to run over customers. That's his offensive capability, is he tries to run over Cobra with the inventory carts.
Look, I was going to say, times it comes with a little robot sidekick self-checkout stand. It doesn't work, but it's
yes. Yeah, it's got the red light is always on.
the front of it is open for some reason.
Yes. Yeah. Right.
As many times as Hasbro with Transformers especially has done these cross brands with
they
retailers.
Did like a Target Optimus, didn't they?
They did Target Optimus who had a little Ravage that was called Bullseye.
Yeah.
They did a, and they've done terrible names. Like they did a crossover with Mazda called Zoom Zoom at one point. Yeah. So I can see Rollback being an official GI Joe Walmart exclusive character.
Look at this. We've got the set underway. Nowhere Man-Child team code names: Rollback, Greeter, and Layaway.
Well, they don't do Layaway anymore. Great. Didn't they stop doing that?
I didn't think this warranted as much conversation as it has gotten. Good job, Hoffman, for a thought prompt. Well done. All right. Well, that brings us to our final segment of the show. Now, Ryan, I did not prepare you for this. I should have. So, Joe and Tell, I don't know if you know or not, is a segment where we each share something on camera to talk about that may, it's probably GI Joe related, but not always. So if you don't have anything, that's okay. We'll wrap this thing up a little early because we've actually we're coming up on closing time anyway. Noel, have you got a Joe and Tell? I know you do because you referenced it earlier. Here, I'll go first because mine is cheating a little bit. So when Hasbro has let you down, when Super 7 has let you down, when every toy company that has the G.I. Joe license, Funko, everyone has let you down, and nobody has produced a Hector Ramirez figure. What do you do? What do you do? I'll tell you what you do. You go to Plastic Meatball and you get yourself a real newscaster like Gary Gnu
Nice.
from Great Space Coaster. Because no GNUs is good GNUs with Gary Gnu. This was Plastic Meatball has a sale going on their website right now. I'm actually, you know what? Oh no, I can't open it up because it's unpunched. The card is beautiful. I don't want to open him.
Yeah.
But anyway, Plastic Meatball is having a sale. I got this. I got the Blunt Man and Chronic figures. They were like $7 or $8 a piece. So go get yourself a Gary Gnu if you're our age and you remember the Great Space Coaster, which, by the way, had a nightmarish assortment of characters that I did not remember until I looked at this, because Gary Gnu was literally the only thing I remembered from this show.
Baxter still terrifies me every time I see that guy.
Is that the clown?
Yes.
Horrifying. I remember the weird, like, stained glass elephant or whatever is going on in the front there.
Who has a little, who's using his own hand to manipulate his trunk
every
time you see him.
Yeah. So yeah, Gary Gnu. Thrilled to have this figure. All right. Noel, what do you got?
All right. I mentioned her, I believe last time we were recording, because I got my shipment notification. But this lovely lady right here.
Oh, yeah.
One of my favorite things to have come out in a long, long time. This is the Missing Link RC figure from Transformers. This is, of course, loosely based on the prototype, the unproduced prototype that they did back in 1986 for the movie. Of course, someone at Hasbro thought that girl figures would not sell, so they decided not to produce her or Unicron, which they also produced a prototype of at the time. She was available in two colors. They had the prototype colors that were more like an orangish, and then this one was more like the anime colors. I went with this one because these were $89, and I could not justify buying both at that price.
Yeah. But I do love the fact that they did the prototype colors, just because that's the history of it.
And they did a really good job of like adapting kind of the look of this prototype, but still giving it decent proportions. Like the legs are a little bow-legged like the prototype was.
Yeah.
But other than that, the transformation is I mean, it's really intuitive. The thing about this is
going to be my question, because it seems like it wouldn't be.
No, it's very intuitive, and it looks really good in both modes. Like especially like the way you fold that down over there. The other thing too is the plastic on this feels like the plastic from the 1986 Transformers figures. It has a little bit of die cast here in the feet. Not a whole lot, but it does have a little bit there as well. You know, you got your rub signs and everything. The one thing, and I know they did this because this is accurate to the 86 toys, is it has a sticker sheet. I kind of wish they gave you an option with a sticker sheet versus an option with tampos, because I hate stickers. I hated applying them. I debated whether I even should and just like leave it intact. The one thing that really drove me crazy was this up front, the Autobot symbol. They included two. This was the second attempt. The first one I tossed because I could not get it on straight. And
right, because there's probably not like a sculpted field to put it in. You're just hoping.
Nope. And this one's still not great, but it's better than the one before. I may wind up, because I've got some sticker sheets around somewhere.
But look, you got to think, if you had it when you were a kid, what would it look like? And it wouldn't be on there perfect. Because I mean, I like the thinking of this Missing Link stuff is that, yeah, it's got the improved articulation or whatever, but essentially aesthetically it's meant to blend in with the original toys.
Yeah, and that's so I did, because I had one of the later RCs, which is one of the ones that has the giant backpack that it's a shell former with a backpack. And it was up there just because on the robot side it looked a little bit closer to the 86 figures. Actually, just recently, the 86 figures used to be right above my head up there for the movie. I moved those because we were doing an addition to our house, and we took out the window and replaced the window with shelving.
Nice.
So yeah, that top shelf, because everything in that room is all movie related. I just put all the 86 movie figures over there on that top shelf, and she just fits like right in like a glove with the rest of them. So
I recently, without getting too deep, somebody was building a toy room, and I was like, why would you even put windows in it?
Yeah.
That's a waste of space.
Yep.
Don't put windows in.
I'm having that problem right now, figuring out how to get new shelving in without blocking windows.
No, forget it. Block them.
Block
Screw
the
those windows. All right. Well, whoa, now it's just the Noel show. Take us home, Noel. That brings us to the end of our show. We've had a great time here tonight talking about G.I. Joe and about spooky stuff. Ryan, before we go, where can we find you online? What are you up to? You got other projects out there.
I do. I co-host the Execute Chapter 66 podcast. It's a Star Wars book club where we do a new book about every 2 weeks, and then we also cover the shows and the movies, but primarily books, and you can find us on Apple and all the things.
Noel, tell us a little bit about The Finest.
The Finest is an international G.I. Joe costume club that raises money for a fantastic organization called Canines for Warriors. We will be at Retro Toy Con, having a little small booth up there. So drop by if you're going to be around and donate some money, pick up some swag, and talk some Joe.
I will also be at Retro Toy Con just for Saturday. Got some business up there. Our music is by Andy Sanford of electricminnowmusic.com. Follow us on Instagram at Audible Interlude Podcast. Join the Audible Army Facebook group by shooting us a message with your email address, and we'll get you added. Our next live stream on the Needless Things YouTube channel is November the 10th. Put it on your calendar. We'll be back on Monday. And then next week, our audio episode will go up on Friday. And thank you, everybody, for your support. Thank you for hanging out, contributing, listening, whatever it is you do. Thank you for being part of the Audible Army. And until next time, yo, Joe.
Snacks.